What is going on, guys? Welcome to Greggles TV. In this video, we're going to talk about the long-term review of the Samsung Galaxy Z Fold 4 and how it's held up over that time, and if it's a worthy upgrade or a phone to buy at this moment in time. So let's first talk about phones that I've had in my possession since getting this phone. So I've had, in no particular order, the Pixel 7 Pro, I've had the OnePlus 11, I've had the Galaxy S23 Ultra, I've had the Oppo Find N2 Fold, I've had the iPhone 14 Pro Max, I've had more than that as well, but just basically just grabbing a bunch of phones out of the hat in terms of what I've had since I've gotten this phone. How is this phone holding up versus those phones? And is it, again, a worthy competitor to still get at this point? Well, let's first talk about the things that maybe I don't really like about this one and I don't even use all that much. First of all, I never use the S Pen. That's gonna be a personal preference. You have to buy the S Pen separately, which is not a big cost, but you do have to buy it separately. And then if you wanna house it on this phone, you need a case that will put it on the back of the phone. It doesn't get inserted at all. I don't use it, so to me, having the S Pen support isn't a big takeaway for it. I still find battery life to be pretty abysmal on this phone. I personally, I don't measure it all that much in terms of like looking at the settings. The way I measure it is that how far into the day does it get me? And most of the time, at the time of making this video, I took it off the charger at about 5:45 a.m. It's 10:30 a.m. It's at 56%. Now that might sound great. You may be like, okay, cool. You'll be on that phone and it'll be another 5-6 hours before it's dead. Not true. I would say by probably around 1:30, I'll probably have to charge this phone up. It'll be almost dead. So usually around lunchtime, it's basically dead. If I don't use it at all, obviously I can get through the whole day, but I use my phone quite a bit. I'm at home quite a bit, so it's on Wi-Fi. It's not like I'm in these areas where there's no signal or anything and it has to work really, really hard. I work from home. This is my job, YouTube. So battery life for me, I find it to be one of the worst things about this phone. Durability, I did have an issue when I first got the phone, like shortly after the screen had broken. Beyond that, it's been pretty good. I haven't had any break issues. I have a case that is protecting it very, very well, which is the Spec Clear case. The overall usage and bugginess of the software is good as well. So again, no issues, no micro scratches that I've really noticed at all on here. The phone closes pretty good. It doesn't have like that. Let me see if it actually does. Maybe it does. Sometimes you get these phones and they're like a little bit warped. It's getting there, I feel. No, it's not too bad actually. So I would say durability is good with the phone, just as long as you get a good case. You don't need a screen protector. I took all my screen protectors off on the phone. I hate them. So you can get one if you want. It makes you feel better. It makes you feel more protected. Sure, grab one. It's not gonna hurt it, but I just personally don't have one. So take that into consideration with the durability of my phone, that I haven't had any issues since it first broke when I first got it, pretty much. Updates have been awesome about this phone. I've gotten updates almost every single month for the most part since they started rolling out. If I remember correctly, it took a bit for the updates to start rolling out for this phone, but it's on One UI 5.1 and that's been pretty good so far. I haven't had any issues with running the software and making sure everything runs really, really well. So I've been pretty happy in terms of the software push outs, and feature-wise, you still have all the same features you would expect from a Samsung Galaxy phone with good lock and within the settings and all of that stuff. There's a lot of cool stuff built into the phone software-wise. That hasn't changed. If anything, it's gotten improved and more stable. So I've been very happy with the One UI software on this phone. Performance, good. Now, when I jump back to my Galaxy S23 Ultra or my Pixel 7 Pro, those iPhone 14 Pro Max, those do feel smoother than this phone. And it could be, I've had the phone for a little bit, but my guess is that the software, even though I just praised it a second ago, is getting a little bit heavy for the phone. And even though it has a Snapdragon 8 Gen 1, which is still an amazing, 8 Gen 1 Plus actually, great processor, it's starting, it doesn't feel bogged down. It's not lagging. It's just not as snappy feeling as when I touch my Pixel 7 Pro or my S23 Ultra or my iPhone 14 Pro Max. So not the smoothest experience, but still quite smooth. I still love this huge display out here. It's great for watching videos or looking at websites or anything that you want to do in here. I like gaming on here, like my little word games on here. put my password,
What is going on, guys? Welcome to Greggles TV Daily Rewind.
You got the big, huge screen. So it's amazing. I love that. You can, and just like on any Android phone, it can really pinch in. On YouTube, it really lets you pinch in pretty much as far as you want now, which is pretty cool. So I love that ability on here, especially on this phone. This is a huge win for me. It's basically the major reason I buy these folding phones, and especially from Samsung, is this huge, huge display. I still am not a fan of this outside display. I almost never use it. It's too skinny. Like just on this video, just looking at it, having it open like that and then closing like this, it's such a contrast of size and looks, and it's not, I don't find it attractive. I don't find it useful. I find it to be, again, one of the worst things about the phone is how skinny this is personally. Cameras, I don't hate them. I don't love them. I am kind of in the middle with them in terms of their performance in the video. Like, it's good. It's better than average. Let's say that. It's like a better than average camera system. And if I want to capture a good photo, I can, but it's not my main camera that I want to take. I want to take on a regular basis, have it be shooting for my YouTube videos when I do this, or shooting with photos. So I'm either using at all times Galaxy S23 Ultra, which I'm using right now, the Pixel 7 Pro, or the iPhone 14 Pro Max. I never use this generally, unless it's the only camera I have in my pocket. I never use it for its camera capabilities. It's not so bad that if I did, I'd be completely disappointed, but it's not that great either. So after 6 months, it's still my go-to phone. I've had all those phones thus far, and it's still my go-to phone. Comparing it to other folding phones, it is the best software implementation. It's the best, that's really it. It's the best software. It might not have the best hardware compared to some of those other folding phones, compared to Vivo or compared to the Oppo Find N. But when you take in the software, like nothing can compete with this software-wise in the folding market at this time. And then why wouldn't I go to a regular traditional phone? It really has to do with that I love folding phones. I love this big display, and it's so hard to go from this back to a traditional phone. A lot of people know what I'm talking about. I hear it in my comments a lot. I take this phone out, I was at the groomer the other day for my dog, dropping her off, and he saw me paying. I was paying him via Zelle, and I pulled my phone out. He's like, "Whoa, what phone is that?" I still get that, and it's a cool thing. I like telling people about this phone. I like wowing people about this phone. It's really, really cool. If you're worried about, concerned, or if you want to know what this wallpaper I'm using is, by the way, which is really cool, it's my buddy Ryda. I'll link his app down below. I think it's like $1, literally, in the Android store, Play Store. So, there's tons of wallpapers in there. The other question you might ask me is, should you upgrade to the Galaxy Z Fold 4 or just buy it in general? I would say if you can get a really, really good deal, yes, buy it. But if you wait another 6 months or so, maybe even a little bit less, you can get the Galaxy Z Fold 5, which will be a better phone, but it's not a huge change, at least from what we've been seeing so far with a lot of the things. Same body, very similar cameras, different processor. There's a couple of new hinge, but the size of the outside display and inside display are basically the same. So a lot of that stuff is the same. So if you can get a really good deal, I'd say maybe just get the Galaxy Z Fold 4. Also get the Galaxy Z Fold 4 if you just want to try something completely different. You're coming from a candy bar phone. Give yourself that experience, and you can always return the phone to Samsung, especially if you buy it from them directly. You can buy the Samsung Galaxy Z Fold 4. You don't like it, return it or keep it. But that's what I would do personally. I think it's definitely worth at least a try because it's such an interesting device. So yeah, check it out. I mean, like it's still the phone that really blows me away and I love for all the reasons that I mentioned in terms, and it really has to do with the display and everything that encapsulates that, from the videos that I watch to using any app to see it better and larger, to websites, to apps that are like social media. There's tons of things that I love about that because of the big screen. It doesn't have the best cameras. It has an annoying front display personally. I still love the fingerprint sensor on the side. It doesn't have the fastest charging. It doesn't have the best performance, but the big display is really a huge thing for me personally and everything that you do with it. Because you use the big display or you use the phone's display really more than almost anything on your phone. If you think about it, it's the thing you have to look at for everything. And having that big display is a huge selling point. Now, I will say that when the Pixel Fold launches, that phone might take me away from this, because if the inside display feels just as large and amazing, and if the cameras, if they're supposed to be Pixel 7 Pro cameras, I love those Pixel 7 Pro cameras better than these cameras, and has Google software, which is super smooth and buttery, more so than this phone is. So those are things that I don't like about this for the most part. And if I can get those with the Pixel, I'll switch over to the Pixel, no problem. Let me know your thoughts so far. Do you have the Galaxy Fold? What is your personal review on it? Leave it in the comments down below. You don't have to leave a 10-minute review. Just write a few lines about it, what you like, don't like, and leave it at that. Thanks for watching. If you want to pick this phone up, it's linked down below, and we'll see you down the road. Peace.